Isagi is in a dangerous place mentally as of chapter 278, which may lead to a personal downfall before the U20. Throughout the Bastard vs PXG match, Isagi's been riding high. He's brought his metavision to its highest point with the inclusion of protagonism in different ego categories, and taken advantage of his lefty shot to pull off his two-gun salute. With these weapons and the coordination of his teammates, he's been able to clash with and overtake his greatest rivals, in the form of Blue Lock's #1 being Itoshi, and Bastard's Emperor Mikhail Kaiser. In doing so, he was able to show off the best results, leading to Corona being swapped with Grimm, and further eroding the system revolving around Kaiser. At this point, Isagi was the closest he'd ever been to achieving his main objectives of overtaking Rin as Blue Lock's #1, and to dethrone Kaiser to become Bastard's nucleus. Though after reaching this peak, I believe that the multiple new obstacles and complications shown its way shortly after essentially were able to shake his kilter and lead to him falling farther faster. After outdoing Kaiser, said Emperor went through an awakening leading to an increase in his options, and went on to make a super goal that only he could. Then his other rival Rin rose back up as well. At first, this led to a deadlock, but as things ramped up, Rin's playstyle was too unpredictable for even Isagi. Then, when Rin seemingly dismissed Isagi as a rival, the desire to not lose pace when he's gotten so close fueled Isagi, leading to him finding the place where Rin would be to intercept his goal. But despite that, Rin was still able to score a super goal through him, and would go on to say that it was Isagi's job to push him until he died. This prodigy, who seemed to only just be discovering the depths of his ego. This only damaged Isagi's own ego, as he didn't want to be seen as a stepping stone. He wanted to surpass these geniuses, wanted to leave the realm of average Joes, and he seemingly did leave them behind, only for them to catch back up so quickly. From there, being at the mercy of Loki's indomitable godspeed, and the effectiveness of his physical gifts despite the strength he's accrued, and the revelation that Noah wanted to come to the Neo-Egos League to develop Kaiser, who was his main focus as a future rival, only added to his mental baggage. The adversity he's been thrown into so shortly after experiencing his greatest high has only led to a shake in his confidence, and a desire to be seen as a genius the same as his rivals. This is his downfall. It's most evident in chapter 278 when he hears Noah's desire for a rival in Kaiser. He thinks, Noah doesn't care about me, and Rin just sees me as a rival to help him grow and achieve goals. He comes to the conclusion that the world simply sees him as a stepping stone to create heroes. Problem is, these mindsets should be nothing foreign to him, yet they're driving him crazy. The blue lock that Isagi believes in so deeply is based off using your rivals as stepping stones for your evolution, and eventually standing atop the corpses of those players at the peak of the striker world. But instead of greeting this challenge with fervor, he lets it get to him and frustrate him. He's afraid of being seen as inadequate next to this genius, and wants to compensate and prove that he's the genius of adaptability, despite the place he's made it to so far. Despite the fact that he was second to last when he arrived at Blue Lock, and rose to second to first in the NEL, his pride en route to being #1 feels threatened. Same with Noah. He feels overlooked despite the fact that Noah had never met Yoichi when he decided to come to the NEL. Despite the fact that Noah aided Yoichi when he listened to him and helped him streamline his thinking, as well as when he followed him on the field due to his rationality. Despite the fact that he knew Noah was an egoist, and should by all means be excited that his idol's aiming to reach new heights that he can aspire and race towards, like with Baro and Snuffy. His feeling that he's being seen as a second fiddle will lead him to irrationality. It will lead to frustration that will sully his place in thinking. His desire to show off and be seen as a genius is a ploy to inflate, not to strengthen his ego. And if his ability to think is eroded at the high point in this game, it will only lead to him being even more overshadowed. And on a team built upon rationality, it may even lead to him being benched. Depending on how this match and Yoichi's temperament shapes up, this could lead to him being even more shaken following it if one of his rivals outplays him, and he isn't offered the highest salary. It may even lead to ego questioning Isagi if he should even be able to play, especially if Rin remains #1. In that situation, he may be seen similarly to how Shido was leading up to the match against the Japan U20, and receive less time on the field due to being too volatile when sharing a field with Rin. What will save Isagi either after or during this match will be reassessing his own ego.